Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.
Oh my gosh. It's like this whole poem's just a flip of mindset.
The way it was before that quiet when all this unrest arose.
And it was all still there.
And it was all there.
Yes.
The sickness just couldn't show itself.
Ooh.
Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Learn With Us,
where we take video content that is worth your time,
and we learn from it with you. And today, we have COVID.
Yeah, we have COVID.
And we also have a new president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, there was a poet invited to speak at the inauguration event.
Mm-hmm. It's the National Poet Youth Laureate. Her name is Amanda Gorman, and she's amazing. And we've decided to react to her poem today because everyone's talking about it.
Yes. And we just started this poem, and the camera turned off. So we're starting again.
Things
so
happen.
now we got a few lines in.
Yeah.
But we'll run it back.
We'll run it back for you.
And yeah, we got the poem up on half of the screen and the video up on the other half, so we can, read along while we listen.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what's in store.
Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. In the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is.
Yeah, so we heard these lines once now.
It doesn't change the way I feel about it,
No,
though.
it gets more in depth.
Yeah.
But one of the things that immediately struck us was this idea of realizing that quiet doesn't necessarily mean peace.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the international situation right now is also the fact that so many people are separated and in these places where we are isolated and we are no longer surrounded by this constant speaking or kind of constant interaction.
Yeah.
So we all are in this quiet place. And from that quiet place, we start to have no place to run and need to face these issues that are now all rising to the surface because all these people are sitting there going, look how messed up this is, now that I have a chance to pause and breathe for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And out of this quiet is coming this unrest.
Yes. And she's like highlighting that if you are being quiet in a time like this, if you are being quiet in a time that's so connected like this, you're not helping. Just being peaceful by yourself is not helping this greater thing. It's like you need to be actively sowing the seeds for peace and the seeds for unity rather than these seeds of division that can happen if you are just being quiet.
I wouldn't want to say that being silent and peaceful is a bad thing. Like, I think that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
But to not shy away from the fact that these things are here and to look at them for all they are. And in this time when we are divided and we see all these things rising, to go at that with bravery.
Yes. I'm not talking about making social media posts or something like that. I'm not saying that that's how we're supposed to be non-silent. I'm saying, like, with the people in your own household, these are the people that you're supposed to be not silent with. These are the people that you're supposed to be having conversations with, especially if you don't agree. And it's hard. Like, it's hard for me to go talk to my grandparents about things we disagree about. But that's the only way to actually sow this unity, because the misunderstandings that happen, that create huge divisions like we see in our country, is just coming from not talking, not active listening, not having dialogue, you know, not speaking up about what we believe in if you're just always silent about that, you know?
And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man.
Not a country that's broken, but simply unfinished. Like, it's like, that's just two ways that you can look at, you know, like a sink in your house that isn't working. Or whatever, you know, it's like, yeah, this has a leak going on, you know, either it's like broken and like I don't really want to deal with it, or it's like, nah, it's unfinished and I take responsibility for that, and I'm going to engage with that until it becomes something that is more whole.
Ooh, which makes me think of, like, there's the mindset of scrap the sink, buy a new sink, you know, scrap the entire system, start everything anew, or like, we have this unfinished thing. None of this is just going to magically go away. None of these issues that we see as a nation are going to magically go away. So why don't we face that bravely, head on?
But look at the beautiful base we already stand on. Like, the work that, like, it's so easy to, in this society right now, or like the way that people are talking right now, when you hear the word white man, or like founder of this country, founding father, almost this like negative thing comes out of you, because you're like,
definitely,
well, look at all this shitty stuff they did.
Yeah.
But then you think about, well, oh my gosh, like, we have so many freedoms and so many things that other countries do not have, that those people did build a base of, and understanding that, yeah, those people messed some stuff up, but they also did create a lot of nice foundations.
And they also did give us, the people, the ability to change and fix the mistakes that they made. I feel like that is part of the genius about how our country was constructed, is like, if we all rose up together, recognized our common values, and collectively asked or demanded change, things would change. You know? Like, that's how our country's set up. We can do that.
And that's just what she's focusing on right now, is that whole idea of, look, I am a descendant of slaves, but I am now here being able to speak like this. We are now at a place where we can build these amazing things. And it's like, it's not our spot to speak as, you know, white dudes who grew up in the middle class. But hearing someone like this speak about it so openly also shows this acceptance for, like, all right, let's just move forward.
Yeah.
Like, we see that history and we're not shying away from it anymore. Let's look it in the eyes, but let's look it in the eyes so that we can create something better. You know, let's not repeat the word slavery so that we make more slaves and convince people that this is where they should be. Let's use that word to unlock freedom moving forward, you know?
Oof. Heck yeah.
And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.
Oh my gosh. It's like this whole poem's just a flip of mindset. It's from a flip of mindset of like, we're broken. It's everything she's saying.
Yeah.
It's everything she's saying is the flip of mindset between this pessimist, like negative viewpoint of like, we have no chance. We have this broken country that has no possible healing route to.
I like the lines that you're kind of talking about.
Yes.
This idea of, if nothing else, let's say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew. Even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we were tired, we tried.
Yes. Because there's so many people, there's this mindset right now of we're grieving, we're hurt, we're tired.
I want it to go back to the way it was.
That's it. Yeah. Like it's terrible. I want it to go back to exactly.
And then it's like, the way it was before that quiet when all this unrest arose.
And it was all still there.
And it was all there.
Yes.
The sickness just couldn't show itself.
Ooh.
And now it has.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, dude, just that idea of hurt, hoped, tired, tried, grieved, grew. Like,
yeah.
The way that it goes back to the sink analogy, the broken sink. It's like she's just taking that flip of, is it broken or unfinished?
Oof. That's something you could
you could sit for a while.
Sit for a while and just like apply to anything. Man.
Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it in its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us?
That's a universal bar.
Dude, she just went into hyperspeed with some of those lines there. Like, there was so much content.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of all the content of this poem, Mitchell here is going to do a poetic analyzation.
Yes, there's so much to this poem, and just a reaction does not do it all its justice.
Yeah, so that will be uploaded potentially at the same time of this, potentially a day or two after.
We'll see.
We'll find out. This catastrophe and this history is not going to overpower us, because it can't. You know, the history isn't... The history is real in that it happened, but it's not real as in the present. Like, you cannot let history just crumble you like a wave. You know, we are the wave now, and we are shaping the direction we want to move. And it's like, ooh, like that's just all power behind us, you know, all knowledge that's helping us move forward.
We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the...
Hear how... I don't know if you've been paying attention to how she's saying the poem, but she was just in a flow for the whole beginning portion. It was like she was just like using her rhymes to keep her flowing. She was using the line breaks to keep things interesting, like to make the words seem like enjammed in some places. But then here, you can feel the energy coming up. You can feel it. You can feel the energy rising.
It's like a battle cry now.
Yes, it's like a battle cry now. It's like before she was like working through all these things, and she's like, okay, we're at this point where you know what I'm saying. Now let's go do it. And she's like trying to get people fired up, it feels like right now.
How about if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright.
There's far too much to that line.
There's like just think about all the things that we are generationally screwing ourselves over with right now, like the whole microbiome crisis that we're gonna have a video coming out on with COVID. Just all these things that have to do with the way we're treating the world around us. So when it's like almost the birthrights that we came in with are decided by the generations before us. And she's saying, look, if we decide to live in a different way, we literally shift our children's birthrights. Whoa. Physically, mentally, environmentally, which are just the same. They're just reflections of themselves.
Oh my gosh, I haven't thought of that. That's crazy.
That was nuts.
You can completely change what is inherited.
Yeah.
And the amount of beauty that is in that inheritance. That we can.
And what is beauty but love? So if you're working on making love.
Wow. But her outfit is awesome.
Is fire. Also her hand gestures.
Oh,
we also mentioned that the first time.
My goodness.
And we need to say it again, because I could watch this whole thing, no sound, and be like and just move with what she's saying, you know?
Yes.
Nice.
Love it. I don't know what it is about her hand gestures, or like why hand gestures are so powerful sometimes, but it just like gives more power to every word she's saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
West, we will rise from the windswept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Holy smokes.
I'm giving it a standing O right now.
Yeah, we were standing the whole time, but that's what it deserves. Standing, yes. Very good. Very good, Amanda Gorman. Very good. Hey, she has our approval now. I think she's better off for it.
I don't think she needs our
I don't think she needs our approval. No.
But we approve.
But we approve.
We stand behind you. Damn, dude.
Wow.
How about... Yo, I loved when she goes through each part of the country.
Yeah.
Like let's look at some of these. She goes, "Will rise from the golden hills of the west, rise from the windswept northeast," shout out, "where our forefathers first realized revolution. Will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwest. Will rise from the sun-baked South."
And the way she said it too, like
Yeah.
that was like the kind of the climax of her spoken poem.
It was like, look at all these diverse places and people we have.
Oof.
Let's bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Yeah, and then the fire for there's the fire finale. For there's always light, only if we're brave enough to see it, and only if we're brave enough to be it.
Okay, that gives me chills every time.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah. No, I mean, think about... I feel like this whole poem, to me, is like a call to empower and a call to your responsibility as a member of this country, as someone born into this place where we have this foundation, but there's so much to do. And it's like, what else are you going to do with your life besides make your community better?
Yeah.
Because that's just going to make your life better. And it's like, none of us have any job anywhere on this planet besides making our local community better and therefore making the whole entire community better.
Whole nation. Yeah.
And it's like, just this poem being like, that is what we need to do. Let's focus our power and energy there. You have the power if you're brave enough to step into it. Which, it's not that scary. You just step into it.
Oh, you just step into it.
Probably gonna start making a video on cold showers soon.
Oh.
Because this reminds me of cold showers.
You gotta step into it.
You turn the cold shower on and you can stand there all you want and be like, that's really scary. But it's not that bad if you just step into it.
Well, folks,
Yeah.
with that,
I love that. That was so good.
I know. It's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Much love.
much love.
And we'll see you next time.
And we'll see you next time.